Welcome to today's Strive Live. As you maybe know, my name is Andreas, and I'm one of the founders behind Strive. I'm also the one that wrote the title of today's Strive Live. And a few people asked me, shouldn't we talk about what is God for you? But in the email, I sent it out what is good for you. So I guess that had to do with my dyslexica. No, actually not. I know how to spell God. But I was a little bit fast, and life is good, so it became good. So what else? What we're going to do is that we're going to talk about what is God for you today. And of course, we can talk about what is good as well. So today, as usual, I have a lot of wonderful women around myself from this wonderful Strive community. And we have Josefi, we have Jessica, and we have Therese here today. That is the guest speaker that we're going to highlight a little bit extra today and have the opportunity to ask some questions because she had a very interesting life from my perspective. But I'm going to come back and introduce her in a little while. So to get this going, my name is Andreas, and I'm 36 years old. And I am very driven to be part of this community. And why that? Because I love self-development, self-help. A guy told me many years back that, hello, you are not a tree, you can move yourself. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm a big believer in that you can learn things, you can learn from other people, you can grow your life, you can get a better life, and you have the power to basically change yourself. And the world is filled with opportunities, and it's also filled with a lot of other things that are not so good. But how we feel as a person depends on where we actually put our focus. So here on Strive, we put our focus on striving. We're putting the focus on moving forward, look less in the back window and look more into the front window. So with that, we're going to talk about this topic today. What is God for you? I'm going to start off and share a little bit of my perspective on that. And then I'm going to basically give the word to the other people here in the audience. And for the audience, we have a little bit of a rule. We try to be quite short and concrete, talk a little bit about our story, background, and then get to the point. And if you that listening here have some questions, feel free to ask them. You can write in the chat. And that will show up here in our system, and we can basically respond. So with that, I think all is said. I'm going to get into the topic, and I love this topic. And I think it's a big thing to basically talk about. I know a lot of people that don't. They say they don't believe in God at all. And I have a lot of people around myself in my life that believe in God. And I know a lot of people that believes in different kind of gods. And I am okay with whatever. That's one of my foundations. I believe it's important to let everybody have their own basically belief, and as long as it not interrupt with each other. So What is God for me? Yeah, back in the days, I thought that it is no God at all. For many years back, I didn't believe so much in anything. Basically, when I was a young kid, I basically believed in life itself, but I can't remember that I really felt that I believed in God and so forth. I know when we started to learn about God and one important thing here is that I think it's a big difference between God and religion. I think religion is something on its own, and I think God is something very personal, basically. So, long story short, I didn't believe in something called God when I was young, but when I started growing up a little bit, when life hits you in the face, it was something inside me sometimes that felt a little bit, maybe there is something that can help me. It maybe can be something that can help me. It can maybe be something that is bigger than myself. And I know I had this little belief on those dark days that maybe there is something, or maybe it's something good for me to come in life. And later, I think for like maybe 8 years ago, I had a friend of mine that told me a story. A story about Jesus and his, how do you say, disciples? Yeah. And when I heard that story, I remember I loved that story quite much, and it opened it up a little bit. These God questions for me again, and I started a little bit thinking about, yeah, maybe there is some sort of God, maybe there is something bigger. And I remember when I read about, and now I'm talking from my perspective, my story related to God. So one part of my story related to God was this story about Jesus and the disciples. And a lot of things when you read about Jesus was very good. I realized like this guy have quite good leadership thoughts and so forth. So after a while, I decided for myself that, yeah, maybe God is like a man sitting in heaven. And I had that little bit picture, and I started pray to like God and stuff like that, and I had that little bit of a picture that he is some sort of man up in the sky. But later, I had a new experience, and I had an experience of, because in Sweden you say andetag. It's like the Holy Spirit is the ande, and then the andetag is the thing we do where we basically breathe in. So today, to not go too far in the beginning of this session, I believe like God is some sort of intelligence that are everywhere here. Because when I breathe in and I breathe out, it's something that keeps me alive when I get this breath into my body. And it's some sort of intelligence, because so many times I'm thinking about someone and the person calls me. Or I've tried a lot of crazy things last months. And basically, sometimes I feel that you can solve situations about focusing your like thoughts and stuff like that. And that is something like, because if we can take up a phone and I can call someone and some sort of vibrations going away from the phone like this, and someone can hear my voice in another side of the world. That's quite interesting. And sometimes even without the phone, people can like connect. I don't know how to. So to don't go too far away on my thoughts, because this is it's so hard to talk about, like, what is God, what is everything, what is nothing, what is, all of this. But I believe that we have some sort of power in the universe, in the energy, in the air, that we can tap into if we learn how to do it. So God for me is inside and everything here, like we all connected to like the same thing. So yeah, so with that, I'm gonna introduce this wonderful lady, Tere, and I have had the opportunity to be around her since she joined Strive a while ago. And she's been living in Dubai. She wrote a book. I cannot even tell how the name of the book in English. I tried before. I don't even gonna go there. But she wrote a book about Dubai, religion, Ferraris. I don't know. She can tell you a little bit herself. But she's a coach and she have a lot of life experiences. So with that, Therese, do you want to come in here and a little bit tell us about yourself and a little bit about your story? And also, if you can tap into this topic of what is God for you and see if we can get some clarity. So with that, the stage is yours.
Oh, no pressure at all. Clarity about what is God. I'm a psychology coach with Cognitive Behavioural Approach, and I'm an intuitive coach and Pranic healer. So I'm a mix between science and spirituality, short. So I jump straight into the God question because I think that's important. And my story is I'm brought up in a quite small village when we have, one place for youth, young people to be, where they played pool and stuff. And then we have the scouting business that was connected to Missionskyrkan, a spiritual church in Sweden. So, and I always, felt something. But there was so many have-tos. You can't do that, and you have to do that. And when I got older, I, started to question that a bit. It was quite hard, because the minister or so, the one who talk is someone you respect, even though my family wasn't spiritual at all. But I started to read a good book that called Conversation with God from Neil Donald Walsh, if you want to. He has a lot of books, and he doubted God's presence, and how can it be war if you're here and all of that. And he asked question straight out, and he felt he got answers, so he wrote down the answers, and that ended up this book series. And I started to question then. I was on a retreat actually, where it was Catholic and Christian, both of it, and it was a priest holding the retreat, and it was a lot of talk about, in the chapel about guilt or forgive our sins and guilt and shame, and I felt this isn't supposed to be, God. And then I took the book, the first of them, Conversation with God, and I opened it up, and the first word I saw was brave. And then okay, got it. And then I booked a appointment with this priest, and I just sat down with him and said, why is it so much, shouldn't God be, all love and light? Why is church talking so much about guilt? And for me, that was a big thing, questioning the minister or the priest. But he said it for him, it felt good. He needed to talk about this because it eased something up within him. But since then, I've been on a path, trying to find, what is God for me? I went to a Buddhistic retreat, and I was pregnant with my son at that time. And on that retreat, they said, you can't read any other book than this book. So I bought that book, and chapter 4 was about, the pain the baby in your stomach go through when you're pregnant, how it feels harm, and I just, oh no. And then we talked about every, sitting we have, we have to feel the pain and get into the pain. And I just, no, that's not me. And I just put the book away. I went downtown, about some candy and another book. And I think, so I tried this different path. I tried to find, what's my thing. And what I realized is, as Andrea said, religion is a way of interpretate. If you try to understand and find a maybe ritual to have your companionship with God. So you can come together with other people that have the same ritual, and you feel together and you do things to. So that's the religion part. But I don't think that God, care if we call him Allah or Jehovah or God or whatever, because in my way of looking at God, he's unconditional love. He doesn't demand anything from us. He loves us no matter what, and he let us learn our own lessons. And he's always there. So I think, this is just my opinion, that, when church in younger days, or older days, there are priests, somehow they loses power. And a way to get power is to say that you have to do this and that and come to church so many times, because otherwise you won't get to heaven. And I even believe, heaven and hell is something made up because it forces people to go to church. And then the priests have power. That's just my way of looking at it. So I think the humans are not capable of understanding what unconditional love is. So we have to package it. And then some people have put in their view on it to have power, to get power. But everything that it's written down, it's what we think. Some human has thought something and written it down. And I don't think we are capable of understanding what totally unconditional love is. But I think the magic thing that Andreas wrote, good instead of God, is, I think, to know what good is for you is to find what's good for you. So any religion or any place or anything that make you feel good about God, there's your place.
Yeah, that was a good conclusion.
Yeah, that's right.
To God.
Thanks to you. So for me too, I feel God the most when I'm in the nature. That's my church. Or I love to be in churches, and I love the music there, and I love nature. But being in nature is where I feel closest to God.
Oh,
But you can call it whatever you like. You can call it universe. You can call it the highest good. You can call it divine mother, father. It's not really important. It's more, what it gives you, what it's good for. Your highest good.
Yeah, and I really tap into that, and it's really important to let people, find their way, and get to know and get to contact with yourself, and getting a little bit away from the ego as well, because a lot of things that is ego driven, when you tap into that side, I don't know if it's God or hell in the ego. It's probably more of the hell part. So it's important to be open from my perspective, and also have a nice view on it, and a simple way of thinking about it, so other people can, find their way, and you can find your own way.
And
thank you so
everyone
much.
has their own road. You can't, this my road is the best for you. They have to find their own road and their own pace to go on it.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, we have a few more ladies here. I'm gonna give the word over to Jessica, and of course, if anybody don't want to talk, feel free to just pick to send the ball to the next person. But Jessica has been working together with me for a long time, and I really appreciate everything you do. And Jessica have also a very wide experience, been all over the world, and been living in, I think, was it Australia or United States?
No, New Zealand, actually. So
New Zealand, yeah. So that was almost the right pick with Australia. Yeah. So, and you have a lot of life experience, and I think you have a lot of experience in the question about what is God for you, and probably what is good also. So, Jessica, why don't you join us in this conversation, and give us a little bit about your background and who you are, and what is good God for you?
Thank you, Andreas. It's actually coming up to 2 years now, Andreas, we work together. So I started off as a storyteller, but I'm also a community manager, and I'm supporting Strive, and as a Strive guide and mentor for the community. And my background is, otherwise I do work as a coach. I'm a business coach and consultant, but I would say I'm a serial entrepreneur. I like to do lots of things, and that's what I do. And mainly I do talk about myself as a global citizen. So I am a global woman. I love to connect, and globally I do, since I've traveled a lot, I love to connect with people from different cultures. So and talking about God, that's a really interesting topic, because I would have, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have told you I'm an atheist and I do not believe in God. But oh my God, it's good that things are changing, because I've just, a bit like Tere said, it's sort of, it is a journey and exploration in what is God to me, and what does that mean to me, and tapping into more of a spiritual place where I can find peace, where I can connect, like you also said, Andreas, that there's energies and this with you. So I would call God universe. That's sort of really how I would talk about it. It's just a totally different level. And when you tap into that, you reach your full potential. I think that you really you get out of your ego. You're not so much in your head, but you land in your spirit, your intuition. And Therese knows a lot about that with intuition. I know that with. But no, so God is just really a guide in life, I think, and it should be something good for all of us. And I think it is, if we actually put aside all this, what religion has, because what religion does is, well, what you said, it's a totally different thing. It's dividing people, it's full of shame, it's full of control. It is something completely different. I might get some angry people here, but I do not agree with how religion is used as a power tool, because I think religion is, in its pure sense, it's actually something good for people in general. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. I used to say that I'm not about religion, I'm about relation with something. And a question for you, Jessica, do you think this universe, the God for you, does it have any intelligence inside?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For me, it's very much an intelligence, and that's really, that's why I think a lot of people said, that God lives in each one of us, that God is love, that we actually, when we do listen and tap into that energy field, that is all intelligence. And when you can actually do that, that's when you connect with your higher self, your higher purpose. So yeah, definitely, I think it is an intelligence, and I think that we really need to if we start to peel off those layers of conditioning, of years and years of conditioning, I think that humans, that we're capable of so much more than what the governments in the countries want us to believe, because that's a way to control us as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. And this intelligence, like I used to think like the God and the intelligence in this mystical question. But you know, when you have this gut feeling, sometimes you think something, but you feel something different.
Yeah.
You do something, and it's something talking to you, but you can't hear it. So, and I feel when I'm not stressed, when I'm focusing to be like present, when I'm thinking about, you know, or when I not try to think about, when I just try to be a little bit, then I can have this inner conversation with myself a little bit better, and I feel that I get better answers from myself. So yeah, it's interesting, and I'm reading a lot of books about spirituality and things like this ongoing, and I feel it's very interesting to dig inside yourself to find questions, answers to the questions, basically. So
One thing, can I just say that quite often we say that this does not feel right, this doesn't feel good, and that's when I think that listen to that gut feeling, because that's getting that pull from your higher self, from universe, from God, whatever you want to say. And then you should not listen to your head, but you should go with your feelings. I think that's
and those signals are coming all the time, but to all of us, but most of them we do miss because we are too, focused on going there. So there are hints all the time, synchronicities. Thank you. All the time, and there are small hints that show us the way. So just need to listen.
Yeah, but also the opposite. This feels right. This feels right, and I had a lot of this feels very right on through my life, and I'm like, woohoo, all in. But yeah, it's used to solve itself. But it's hard to know, and I think it's so important to try to be a spontaneous. Like you cannot think too much if you're gonna tap into the power of God, because then you start like, oh no, it's maybe. Then you start questioning things, and you get stuck. Okay, I bring this little ball over to the next speaker, and I choose Josephine. I think now basically Susanne was having that place, but I know Susanne came in a little bit later, so I give the mic to Josephine before. So Josephine, you are a very interesting person in everything you do, and I see that you are very, very spiritual. So I guess you can give us some clarity in your view of what is God for you, and of course, what is good for you. So please share a little bit about yourself and what is God?
Thank you. I'm Josephine, and exactly what you said, I'm very spiritual. And I've been working on this spirituality in my life, and it's interesting. God for me is the highest for me. It's the highest level of there I reach. There I get the answer from. I don't think it's just coming to me. That's like a channel to another level. You talk about, Andreas, I think you was supposed to say when you're talking about energy, you said I call someone and sometimes my energy that I feel, because I feel so much with my energy, and we can say that my channel, and I can feel even when someone is thinking of me, or if someone needs me, and that's the energy level. It's just you can't touch it, you can just feel it inside you and around you. And a relationship, I will say, a relationship with my God inside me and around me. And also I want to say something about when we meet people like we do now in this group, in this live, we meet each other on this God level, when it's clear, it's open, and then we all together are high. Then we all become God together, like a team, then becomes stronger. That's what I feel. So
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you much
thank you.
for sharing. And I think what you're talking about there, like connect with people, and how a group can become stronger if you open to like spirituality. I believe that everybody is a spiritual human being. We are
Yes.
like something inside this shell, or what to call it. And
Yeah.
I believe a little bit like a flower. If you cut up of a flower, the flower grow again, or reborn
Yeah,
itself.
exactly. Yeah.
And I think it should be a little bit like that for we as humans as well, because
Yeah.
otherwise there is no really sense. But I think what say a lot of people are very closed when it comes to open up a little bit, and maybe we have a lot of people going in and out on this stream today, and like, oh, this is crazy, this is too much, I'm
Yeah.
getting out of here. And I remember back in the days when I was very closed mind to a lot of things in my life. Today I'm more open. Like I don't give a shit what people talking about. Actually, I'm like, okay, they talking about God, or they talking about this. I'm curious. I'm like interested in what can I learn, and what is their view, because the more that I can see how other people integrate with the life and so forth, the more I can learn, and a better life I can create for myself and for people around. But the interested part is what you said, Josephine. Do you think everybody can really tap into other people, if I like say it like that? Are we all, because if this is the air, we all connected, basically. And when a kid is before it becomes a brain and something in the stomach of when a baby is getting born, it's just the heart. So it's some sort of electricity, and it's some sort of so yeah, let's give it over to
Okay. Yeah.
Susan.
Thank you.
Susan.
It's so interesting listening to you, and this is a very, very big topic. What is God? What is good?
Yeah.
So I have been in business whole my life. Actually, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and the last 10 years I have really tapped into the power within. Since I started to read mind, I'm a mind trainer. I'm also advanced professional hypnotist, because we can close our conscious mind and go to our unconscious mind, and that's the hidden power within. So we can also connect to the source energy, or God, or the power. I will call it a power, because it's something we can connect to, and we are all connected, as you said, Andreas, because we are in the same space. We are in the source of energy. It's
Yeah.
all energy. We are energy. It's energy. But we have different kind of energies. It's low energy and high energy, low vibes and high vibes. So we can create what we want with our power from within.
Yeah.
So it's very important to know that we are the creators. We are God ourselves. So, but how do we listen? Do we listen inside, or are we too busy to listen to other what's happening in the outer world? We call it the reality, but what is reality? We have different realities, and this is very big topic. So I don't know where to continue actually.
No, but
Okay.
there is so many people in this world, and it's so many gurus, and it's so many dit, and it's so many dat. What is right? Is there anybody that have that answer, or
No, I just have a thing. Some of the masters in pranic healing as always say, even if the master, don't just believe everything I'm saying. Try, feel, and if it feels right, then believe it. And I think that's good for everything. Don't if someone say you should wear a green sweater on Wednesday, then just don't do it. Try. Does it feel right? If it's you and if it feels good here, okay, then don't just take a word for truth. Try, feel, and then choose.
yeah, I believe
Yeah.
in this green on Wednesday.
And I want to give a key. Can I give a key, Andreas?
Yeah, of
Is that
course.
okay? Yeah. Like a routine, like a morning routine. If you want to be connected to your God or to the higher self or energy, take that in your morning routines. If you write, I do writing every morning, and I pray and talk to the highest like this. Today, please let me be in this channel. Let me be in this power today, because I need you. So be connected to me today. You talk about, Andreas, when you are calm, you are connected to this, but you can also use this key when you have high-tech action in your life. If you pray for it in the morning, like connected with that, if you find your way.
Yeah,
And
but it's
yeah,
interesting.
Set
Yes,
your
so-
intentions for the day.
yeah, that's another
Yeah.
one. It's
Yeah,
intention,
it's the
and
same
another
thing.
one.
Praying is actually a way of visualizing and believing. If you pray to God, I pray for that this, Wednesday live session is going to be fantastic and we have a magic. And then I believe that my answer is going to be prayed. Then just how the brain works, it's going to be a really strong visualization. And the visualization works in a way that it sends, signal, because the brain doesn't get that haven't happened. It believes it happens right now if you believe it, and then it's going to send signals in your body that is happening. So pray is a really strong visualization which you use in coaching.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but I also talk about open up the channel. Open up the channel to it. That's what I'm saying too. Yeah.
But the cool thing about what we talking about here is that probably everybody know, but nobody know. Some people say that you should sit on your head, then your channel becomes open. Some people say pray in the evening, some in the morning. Some say don't pray at all. Some say sit like a flower. Some
Find
say
your way,
meditate for hours.
Yeah.
Or some say believe in him or that, then you come to this, or so that, and all of this has for many years been a little bit confusing for me. And sometimes when things getting a little bit confusing, you also tend to push it away, at least from my point of view. But what I did a little bit a while ago, it was that I a little bit surrendered to the fact. I'm like, I giving up all of my ideas of what is or what is not, and just try to go with the flow. And when I try to go with the flow, I don't become angry that much on other people because they can act like they do. If someone thinks that I'm wrong, that's okay. And if I'm right, that's okay. And in this, I feel that life becomes much easier to handle, and some sort of power appear, because otherwise, we can become so stressed if we're gonna listen to everybody on what to do and stuff like that. And I think that's an important thing. And of course, a lot of people listening to this now that believe in something else and said they are idiots. But I believe in be very like, I try to find my way, and other people try to find their way, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Jessica, I saw that you put
Yeah.
it up your hand.
Yeah, I just want to just what you're saying, Andreas, is really about not having any pre-assumptions about other people, no expectations. So if you don't have any expectations of other people's behaviors, you do not get angry, you do not get disappointed, because what is. And that's one of the things that I work really hard with. I always sort of try to be truthful to me in my speak, and I do not expect other things from people. And I always try to do the best I can with this in the circumstances. And I think that Susanne is actually right, because we are all the creators of our lives. So whether you want it or not, you're creating your own life. So if you're suffering in your life, you have created that. And if you're flourishing, if you're really living in abundance, you created that as well. And sometimes that's really tough to hear. But so I think I want to give the sort of one to Susanne. You're right. You create your own life, isn't it?
Wonderful.
I just
Okay.
want to show one thing, because before we started today, I'm quite intuitive, and I pulled a card. What's the most important thing for today's session? And I got you see, letting go.
Put a little bit to the left.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah, here we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, letting go.
letting go, and and letting go of the it have to be like this. God have to be like this. You have to be like that, and everyone have to think like me, and just letting go and finding. So it's so funny that both Andreas and Jessica talking about letting go.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
yes, actually, it's really about not to judge or complain or blame or argue. It's only to observe what's happening outside, observing, noticing, and you don't need to accept what's happening, but observe what's happening, and then don't react. So no reaction. It's easy to say, but when I was in a temple in Thailand and started to do this kind of meditation, only to observe everything, and that's a training, because we can all do that. We can train to observe, not to react, not to think too much, only to observe what's happening around us. So that's the way we are going with the flow. When Andreas was talking about going with the flow, it's actually in the flow where the magic happens.
Yeah. I love
Wonderful.
that. Yeah.
Okay, we said from the beginning before you entered it, Susanne, that we're gonna try to do those sessions on 45 minutes. And I can see that we are there right now. I think we can just close the today's live by giving one sort of life tip, because I think what is God for me and or for everybody is still, everybody want to have like a great life. I think that's something most people have in common. So why don't we just give one tip each with how to have a really nice, good, awesome life. So I ask you first, Tere, what will be that one tip you could give to everybody that will?
Oh, the magic solution. But we learned today that there's no magic solutions that suits everyone. So I'm just going to take one that helps me. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Very good. Very good. Jessica, do you have this one tip?
Yeah, I think that one of the major gifts you can give yourself is to actually to be grateful for what you have and to live a life in gratitude, to actually see what you have. And as we talked a bit about today as well, with the energy, what we're attracting, we're going to attract more great things in our life. So be grateful for what you have. More will happen.
Yeah, good. Josephine, do you have an amazing tip?
I have one. To be brave, to choose braveness in front of fears, to always choose braveness, to step forward, to open up the magic in your life, even if it hurts, even if it feels choose braveness, because you know, if I do this, it's gonna go open up. I live now, I want to have the magic in my life. Choose braveness.
Great. Susan, do you have one amazing tip for the audience?
My tip is to have faith. All is well. To have
All is
faith
good.
and believe that you can create whatever you want. Faith and believe in yourself.
Wonderful. And my tip for today will be try not to think too much.
Super.
Amen.
Amen.
I think we have closed the circle, and I posted a few links. Now I can see that it's both English and Swedish. So if you are English and looking at this and you can't read the Swedish, go to Google Translate and have it translated. And if you are Swedish and can't read English, go to Google Translate you as well and translate it. Yes, we see you all next week with some great topic. And we wish you all. It's Easter, right? Is it called Easter?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we wish all of you guys a wonderful Easter. And if you're eating eggs in your country or where you are located, don't have too many. It's not good. Or it is good. I don't know. Who am I to tell that? Eat as many eggs as you want. So with that, have a great day. Thank you, my friend.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.